I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead hands. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is... I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right. Oh, the stadium is just like my second house. Now I'm two-tone talking, they can't shut my mouth. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. I woke up feeling like it was time for giving up. Welcome to the Two-Tone Talk by God Pod, everybody. Episode 192. 1-9. There's a 1 and a 9 in today's episode, which is fitting, because Titans are 1 and 9. They lose to the Houston Texans, 16-13 at the very end. The Texans kick a field goal. I thought the Titans had a shot to win this game, and as it turns out, they did have a shot to win this game. I mean, they lost by 3. Is that the closest margin they've lost all year? I mean, that's where we're at, folks. We're having to talk about, I mean, at least we only lost by 3, you know? And, I mean, listen, the draft stuff's still looking good. The draft stuff is still, you know, we still have the number 1 pick in the draft. So, I mean, that's a good thing from yesterday.
But I was sitting there and just taking it all in after the game. I was thinking about it once I sat down after the game was over, and it was like, okay, we're 1-9. We're one of the, honest to God, I'm not going to say one of the worst teams I've ever seen, but one of the worst offenses for sure. Poorly coached. Offensive scheme is terrible. Our quarterback is a rookie who's struggling and trying to find his way, but we're generating our running backs are generating 25 yards of offense in the run game. I mean, they did some stuff receiving, but in terms of running the ball, Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears accounted for 25 yards. J.C. Latham had 3 false starts, one of which was on a play that was leading up to the 2-minute warning. So I want to know how that even happens, because we weren't even going to run a play. Like, we're just trying to draw them offside, see if we can get a free 5 yards before the 2-minute warning. We're not even going to run a play, and J.C. Latham has a false start. I mean, the thing is, J.C. Latham, I saw today from Pro Football Focus, he gave up 0 pressures and 0 sacks. So in some ways, J.C. Latham actually played pretty well, especially considering the defensive front he was going up against. But when you have 3 false starts, and one of them is at a moment where we're not even going to run a play, that gives you the distinction of, come on, don't ruin it for me. That gives you the distinction of Weenie of the Week. Weenie of the Week? No weenies allowed, JC. And although you probably played well and did good in your reps, 3 false starts, a holding penalty, and then in the locker room afterwards, you're not even taking accountability for it. In the locker room, he's like, well, I mean, the cadence was weird. It's like, JC, you're a first-round draft pick, bro. And Jeff Simmons going off on Jeff Simmons has gotten on J.C. Latham's case before. And then yesterday, when Jeff was going off on the sideline, it really looked like he was directing most of it at J.C. Latham. And then afterwards in the locker room, Jeff was publicly saying, like, we can't be having 3 false starts. We can't be having all these false starts. We're having them in practice, and then we're having them in the game. Who do you think Jeff was talking about? He's talking about J.C. Jeff's fed up. Jeff is fed up with J.C. Latham. Amnesia said this team better not spend a single pick on defense until this team can produce offensively every single game. As a Titans fan, I'm sick at my stomach watching this insult of a team. I mean, the defense does have needs, but at least they play. At least they're respectable. At least the defense is, like, you can tell there's at least some competence there. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, when the offense is this bad, it feels like you need to just put every resource you can into the offense. But back to what I was saying. So you got that. You got J.C. Latham penalties. The offensive scheme's terrible. Pollard and Spears are generating 25 yards of rushing. Cam Ward having some accuracy issues on his deep ball, having some passes getting batted down. And then, like, 3rd and 16, our defense lets Nico Collins get wide open. But then it's not just the Titans. Like, the Titans are 1-9, and they're absolutely abysmal. But then, like, I look around at what else is going on, and it's like, okay, then Mike Vrabel's 9-2, and he's being hailed as a football god. Then I look up at the TV and they're like, by the way, today, Josh Wiley scoring a touchdown for the Green Bay Packers. And then I see Malik Willis getting some good playing time and Marcus Mariota getting some good playing time with Washington. And then it's like Mike McCoy is running the ball on 3rd and 3 and then settling for field goals. And then Calvin Ridley breaks his leg and Chimere Dike doesn't have a concussion, but we thought he had a concussion, and he gets hurt, and then Elliott gets hurt, and then, the organization's in complete disarray, and we're the butt of all the jokes, and we deserve it, and we're the most poorly coached team I've ever seen, and then Our former players, Derrick Henry plays great yesterday. A.J. Brown does some good things. And Kevin Byard's tearing it up in Chicago, like playing at a peak level. And I just sat there and I thought, like, is this the end of the world? I was like, Indianapolis is like randomly great with Daniel Jones at quarterback, and Jacksonville whooped up on the Chargers yesterday, and the Texans are still a very respectable team, even with Davis Mills. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, is this hell? I was like, am I actually, there's an episode of The Twilight Zone where they're like in this weird universe where all this weird stuff keeps happening, and one of the characters just finally goes, you know what? I figured it out. We're in hell. This is hell. That's what I felt like yesterday. Like, I'm sitting here trying to comprehend all of this. How bad the Titans are. Vrabel's doing awesome. These former Titans players are just dominating and like all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, we're in hell. This has got to be, or football hell. I don't want to make light of hell, but like, this is football hell. This is absolute, like, is this a joke? Is this a prank that's being pulled on me right now? That this is how this football season's going? I didn't expect much winning from the Titans this year, and they somehow still are even worse than I thought. I was like, man, if we could just get 5-6 wins, that would be an accomplishment. We ain't even gonna be able to get 2. Like, bro. It's just, like, I'm sitting there watching, and I'm just like watching the Titans game, and I was just like, I mean, is this even an NFL team right now? Like, are they serious? And I said this a couple of weeks ago, and I'll echo the sentiment here. I would have said it last week, but we were on a bye. Like, the only way that some of this stuff and some of the in-game decision-making and some of the coaching and some of the schematic stuff on offense, the only way you can make it make sense is if you just surrender to the fact that we're actively trying to lose and tank. Like, it's the only way it makes sense. It's just like, there's no way you could be this bad. There's no way you're this bad. It's impossible that you have a group full of guys that were good enough to make it to the NFL. I mean, even on the worst teams, these guys are still NFL players. It's like, there's no way y'all are this bad. It's impossible. Like, I can play the computer on rookie mode on Madden, and it will put up better numbers in 5-minute quarters than this Titans team in real life. It's impossible that you could, it's an impossibility that you could be this bad. It's unbelievable. And so I watch these games and I'm just lifeless. Like, I don't get excited when something good happens. I don't get bummed when something bad happens. It's just like, I just sit there and stare at the TV in shock. I'm just like, is this real life? I got to watch Vrabel go 9-2. I got to watch all these former players going off. I got to watch our first round right tackle false start 3 times, and one time is on a play leading up to the 2-minute warning when we weren't even going to run a play, and that's why he's the weenie of the week. And I got to watch our rookie quarterback struggle. Part of it's because he's got to get better at some things, but then part of it is because you see the clip this week of some of the drills that they've got Cam Ward doing in practice where he's just like weaving in and out between these big bags. And you got people like Kurt Warner and you got these Hall of Fame quarterbacks that are like, what are we doing? Like, these Hall of Fame quarterbacks that are sitting there and they're like, what is this getting him? These drills are pointless. That's what they've got Cam Ward doing in practice. You can't tell me this kid's being well coached. So let's talk about Cam Ward because he's the number 1 overall pick. What else are we going to talk about? What else y'all want to talk about? We'll talk about Cam Ward. Like, there are things that, I also want to say Amnesia said a whole lot of sandbagging happened yesterday. Cam Ward missed some throws. 3 in particular. You had one to Ellick early in the game on a 3rd and long that, he just overthrew him. And I've never seen a quarterback wide receiver combo that can't get on the same page quite like Cam Ward and Alec Iomanner. They cannot get on the same page. Either Alec's not running fast enough, or Cam overthrows him, or Cam throws it to the outside and Alec goes to the inside, or opposite, or like it's just out of his reach, or Alec didn't break out of his route fast enough and Cam threw it too well. It's always something with those two. Always. But then the throws to Mason Kinsey. I can't sit here and say, like, that's not on Cam. Because at the end of the day, like, Mason Kinsey was wide open on both of those plays. And so Cam at least has to take partial responsibility. But am I wrong? I mean, maybe I am. Please, I'm open to correction here. Am I wrong for wondering why in the world Cam Ward's rolling out to his right and Mason Kinsey's opening up to his left? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is comedy. Cam's rolling to his right. I would like to think you would assume that Mason Kinsey's going to open up to his right to catch the ball, so you throw it out there, and then he opens up to his left, and Mason Kinsey looks like a ballerina out there at the 10-yard line spinning around in circles. It's just, what a clown show, man. Like, then, on the last drive, which it ended up being okay because we got down there and scored anyway, but then Mason's wide open again, and yes, I agree with what Cam said in the postgame. He's got to put it on his chest. I mean, he's nobody around him. Put it on his chest, make it where it's not even a question. It's just at some point, though, am I wrong for just wanting one guy, one receiver on this team to make a play? Like, am I wrong for just wanting one guy to, like, just make a good catch? And I know Mason Kinsey's a practice squad receiver. Van Jefferson is Van Jefferson. Alec was playing hurt. And that was our receivers. But it's just like, man. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm a big believer in the fact that if you're an NFL wide receiver on an NFL team, if it hits you in the hands, you should 99% of the time catch it. But some people say that's me being too easy on Cam. No, I absolutely will tell you, Cam, when he's that open, just go with the easiest possible throw. But Cam's deep ball accuracy's got to get better, and that's something that's carried over from college. That was something he struggled with in college, was his deep ball accuracy. But if you got any faith in this coaching staff to help him get better at it, you're out of your mind. And that's where it all feels so hopeless. Let me get a swig of my zero sugar dew. Here's why it feels so hopeless. Like, it's not just the losing. Because at this point, the losing is probably best in the long run. Although I would like to see the Titans get a win or two at some point, just for morale. But here's what makes it feel so hopeless. Nobody's getting anything out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially yesterday when Calvin gets hurt and then Chim gets hurt and Elliott gets hurt and the running backs are giving you 25 yards of offense and J.C. Latham, somewhere right now, he just false started again. Like, it's just like, what are we even getting out of this? Okay, yeah, we're losing the game. Sure, we're losing all of our games pretty much. But, like, what? Even in the losing, you still want to see Cam play better. You want to see the rookies play better. You want to see the young guys play better. We're not even, at least on offense, we're not even in a position to, like, figure out what we have with these guys. I'm not just talking about Cam. I'm talking about Alec. I'm talking about Chimere DK. Like, we're not. And it just feels like, why are we even playing the games? What's the point? Now, obviously Cam showed you some. I think Cam started the game well and he ended the game well. I think the first quarter he played well. Then in quarters 2 and 3, it got muddy. It got gross. And then in the fourth quarter, at the end, I mean, listen, if you want to be encouraged about something with Cam Ward, here you go. 95-yard drive with Van Jefferson and Mason Kinsey as your main wide receivers. I mean, he deserves credit for that. I'm going to go and tell you, the fact that you were able to somehow get a 95-yard drive to go down and tie the game with that crew of guys with you, and J.C. Latham falls starting when there's not even a play being run and he still false starts, and again, that's why he's the weenie of the week. Like, you deserve credit for doing that. And the throw to Chigakonkwo on 3rd and 16, man, that was a great throw. That was a phenomenal throw, and getting hit too. The 20-yard scramble, which I know we all want to see him scramble more. We all wonder why he doesn't use his legs more. That was good to see. More. I don't want him to get hurt, but especially in a season like this, but like more of that. And then the touchdown to Van Jefferson, who was brought onto this team mainly to be a special teams player, and now he's wide receiver 1. He's filling in for Calvin Ridley. That's good. That's good to see. But overall, you just watch this offense and it's like, what am I even supposed to take away from this? What am I even supposed to take away? It's just awful. And I want to bring up some Colts fan said the Carolina Panthers are proof that it can get better. That's a good point, Colts fan. That's a good point. Because Bryce Young got benched last year for Andy Dalton. And it was like, bro, he's done. He's finished. It's a done deal. Everybody was like, Bryce is finished. But guess what? He threw for like 400 yards yesterday. He threw for like 400 yards yesterday, and he's got a winning record. He's playing well. Like, Carolina ain't looking to make a change at quarterback. He's going to be their guy for a while because he's playing well. So it can get better, but there's so much that's got to change, man. Like, I'm watching this team yesterday, and I'm like, bro, I know Mike McCoy's an interim head coach. I know he ain't got the job permanently, but I mean, just what's the point in him being out there? Like, what is his job? To be as conservative as possible? Somebody said Jacoby Brissett's better than Cam right now. I mean, I would hope so. Jacoby Brissett's been in the league for like 15 years. And he's on a better team. So, I mean, yeah, I would hope he's better than Cam on this Titans team after 9 games. But, like, so then I'll bring up the big topic of discussion today, people talking about a quarterback competition in 2026. And I'll go ahead and be honest with you. People say the people talking about this is Buck Rising. I mean, it was Buck Rising that was the person I saw mention it, who's obviously from 104.5 The Zone. I want to say this. I like Buck. Buck's been on the podcast before. He's very nice to me. This is not me. This is nothing personal against Buck Rising. I just think that's crazy. I think now, I do not have a problem with going out and getting a better backup quarterback than Brandon Allen. To just, first of all, come in and provide a little more veteran leadership for Cam, somebody that can help him grow. But also, worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, if you come back, you said Titans beat the Cardinals, though. Jacoby Brissett didn't play in that game. Kyler Murray did. And let's be honest, the Cardinals were about to be up 28-6 before DeMarcado fumbled the ball through the end zone. And that's why that week he was the weenie of the week. But anyway, I think that you need to get a better backup so that worst case scenario, if Cam comes out and he's struggling again and he needs to like take 5, you can at least have you can at least have somebody that can play. But as far as a quarterback competition, that would not be like, that would be, I think that would be stupid. Because the goal this offseason cannot be, we got to figure out who our starting quarterback's going to be. You can't do, not this offseason. Like, bro, you got too much going on. You got too much you got to do to sit around here and say, well, we got to figure out who our starting quarterback's going to be. We got a little competition going on. Like that would be ridiculous. The goal needs to be, okay, we got to build around our first overall pick. We've got to build around our first overall pick. He's going to be the quarterback. We've got to do everything we can to be good around him. Like that's quarterback competition. That's just, you got to be serious. That's not serious. He wasn't a second round pick. He wasn't a third round pick. He was the first overall pick. You do not throw in the towel on the first overall pick after one season. I don't care how these final 7 games go. That's your guy next year. You don't bring in a Cam Ward with the first overall pick and let him play his entire rookie season to then say, hey, we're going to have you compete with Joe Flacco. Come on. You got to be serious. And the same people that are trying to implore them that they should do that are the same people who would laugh and call them dysfunctional if they did it. You place too much value on first round pick status. Not just first round pick, first overall pick. Whether you think he's playing well or not, that's as big of an investment as you can make. You had the first overall pick, and you, out of all the things you could have done, you believed in him enough to use that pick on him. Only for a year to go by and to say, might give the job to Joe Flacco or Jameis Winston. Like, that's not how any of this works. That is not how any of this works. That's too big of an investment to just throw in the towel after one season. The Titans already, I'm not going to ban him. I mean, everybody's welcome to state their opinion. It's not like he's being hateful or anything. Competition would be good for Cam, and if he's a quarterback you seem to think he is, then you have no problem. Yeah, I mean, I don't think competition's the word I would use. I think you need somebody in there that can help him. I don't know what Brandon Allen's bringing to the table, but like with Cam and him being a first overall pick, like I said, you can't just throw in the towel after, no matter how bad he's playing, no matter how many turnovers. And you have to, like, even if you're sitting there and you're saying, hey, he's been underwhelming, he hasn't played as well as we hoped he would. Okay, but I say it every week. Do you not think that all of the surrounding factors play a part in that? Like, really? You don't think that the talent, the coaching, all of those things that we've been talking about for weeks, you don't think that plays a part? And you don't think that Mike Borgonzi takes that into account when assessing Cam Ward? Of course. Of course. You have to. You have to account for that. Not saying that Cam's blameless. He's got to get better at things. But he's a rookie on a terrible team. But as far as a lot of y'all are talking about Will Levis, for somebody who's recovering from surgery, you guys love to talk about him. Will Levis is not going to be on this team next year, guys. He's not. Will Levis is done here. I don't even consider him a part of the organization. He's going to be traded. He's going to go be a backup somewhere. And you know what? If he goes somewhere that can properly coach him, he might be all right. But Will Levis is done here. That ship has sailed. He's out of here. And even if he... I have to say, everybody Everybody is like, well, we should have just gone with Will Levis this year. He had surgery. He wouldn't be playing anyway. And you can say, well, if he would have been the quarterback, he wouldn't have gone and had that surgery. Okay, so he'd be playing hurt? Yeah, that's what you want? I get it. I get it. The Titans are awful, and people are just mad. People just want to be mad, and they just, everything feels super negative. The title of this video is "This is Miserable." I already told you, with everything that's going on, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like the end of the world. Looking for any kind of hope at all. And guess what? The Seahawks are up next. Coming off of a loss. With no Calvin. With maybe no Chimere TK. And even if you have them, I mean, this could be viewer discretion is advised this game Sunday. And I do worry for Cam going against that Seahawks defense because they are nasty. I think they're easily a top 3 defense in the league. A year off will be good for Levis, but sincerely asking, why wouldn't the Titans want to at least try Levis for a backup to Cam? That was asked in the chat. To me, there's no going back with Will. There is no, like, I don't know how Will could come in and be like, yeah, I want to be here. I think when you watch them go pick somebody else to replace you, I don't think there's any like, I'm going to stick around. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Someone said the people who call Cam a bust are no different than crack addicts looking for instant gratification, not mature enough to know things have to progress and unfold over time like most things. I mean, yeah, I think there is a little bit of just we are in a world where people want instant gratification. That's part of it, but I'm guilty of that too. Excuse me, I'm guilty of that too. And I also think there's another reason it feels like the end of the world, and another reason it feels just like hopeless devastation. It's because the Titans are already bad, right? They're already a bad team, poorly coached, all the things. Then you look at their schedule just up until this point, like it's been brutal. Broncos, that's a top 5 team in this league. The Colts, twice, that's a top 5 team in this league. The Patriots, that's a top 5 team in the league. The Chargers, even though they were terrible yesterday, on most weeks, that's probably a top 10 team in the league. The Texans are certainly not bad. Probably not as good as those other teams I just named, but they're definitely not bad. That defense, like, it's just awful that we're that bad anyway, and we're playing like the best teams in the league. We're playing like the best teams. And it ain't going to stop because we got the Seahawks this Sunday, and at some point we got to go to San Francisco, and we got to play the Chiefs. Like, those 3 games right there are going to be awful. The Jags twice. If the Jags keep playing like they did yesterday, we ain't got a chance. And even the Browns, even though the Browns aren't good, their defense is stout. I don't know what we're going to be able to do against that defense. So, I mean, the first overall pick, we're in good shape with that. We're in good shape with the first overall pick because the way I view it, any of those teams at the bottom where we are, any of those teams that can get to 3 wins, we're not getting to 3 wins, in my opinion. So if a team gets to 3 wins, we're safe. So like the Dolphins got their 4th win yesterday. They're not even on my radar anymore. Like, okay, they're not even in contention for the first overall. They moved up a tier from us. But the Jets have 2 wins, the Saints have 2 wins, the Giants have 2 wins, the Browns have 2 wins. Those are the teams that are a little too close for comfort for me. I'd like to see them get another win, create a little breathing room, because I'm telling you, the Titans need that number 1 overall pick. They need that number 1 overall pick, and they need to trade back, and they need to get a ton of draft capital. I wanted to let you guys know you might see in the chat, where are they? Titan Talk 615. You might have to scroll up now to go to their page unless they comment again. I'm going to be on their podcast on Thursday. On Thursday, I guess I can post the link here. I'm going to be on their podcast Thursday, and everybody be ready to go check that out. Like I said, I'm putting a link to their channel in the chat so that you can go over there and subscribe. I'll be on Thursday talking about all this with them. But, yeah, it's miserable. It's miserable. Like my instinct every Saturday when I think about like, oh, Titans play tomorrow, my instinct is to naturally be like, yeah. And then it sets in and I'm like, I mean, whoop-de-doo. I get more joy out of watching all the other games than I do the Titans games. So it's awful. It's miserable. It feels like the end of the world, but we got to gut it out through these final 7 games. We have absolutely got to gut it out and find a way. Because the offseason is going to be more eventful than the season. Because at least you're going to have a head coaching search, a lot of money to spend, probably number 1 overall pick and all that entails. So there's a foundation there to start pointing the ship in the right direction. But I just don't know how you get anything out of these final 7 games. Defensively, there are some good things happening. I see Kevin Winston playing well. I like that. I see Marcus Harris playing well. I like that. I see Cedric Gray, who's just a monster. I like that. Big Jeff. I don't even have words to describe my respect for Big Jeff. I almost got emotional about how much I respect Big Jeff yesterday because he's talking the talk and he's walking the walk. He's not just telling you how to do it. He's showing you how to do it. And I'm glad they didn't trade him because I agree with everything Mike Borgonzi said. They need him. They need him. He's going to be a part of the reason they turn it around if they do, because that's the kind of guy you want in your locker room. He's the only culture guy we got right now because he backs it up. And he's earned the right to say the things that he says. And listening to him in the locker room yesterday talking about how fed up with all this he is, I was like, man, that's why you didn't trade him. That's why you keep him, because you need that guy in that locker room next year in this offseason. So, but offensively, I'm struggling to find a point. I'm struggling. I mean, I know the point is to see Cam improve, but, I mean, are you kidding me? Van Jefferson and Mason Kinsey, Pollard and Spears giving you 25 yards rushing, J.C. Latham false starting over and over and over and over again, resulting in him being the weenie of the week. I mean, how are you even supposed to carry on? How are you supposed to find a point in all of this for the offense? I don't know. At least you got the drive at the end with Cam to give you some hope. At least you got that. That's going to do it for me. I'll be back on Patreon Wednesday with the weekly Wednesday bonus episode. And then on Friday, we'll be back here previewing Titans Seahawks. Oh, boy. God bless you, everybody. This has been the Two Tone Talk by God Pod.